Now this is when you're going to know when and if your status correction is not correct. You email it to yourself and you open it up in your email, it's going to look like this, okay? Now, here's the correct version, which is this one. This is the one, well, this is the correct one. It's the one I corrected. All down through here. They show you the difference between this one and that other one. Now, say for instance, if you didn't correct all these words, go back here from line to line. See this? You left click on that, left click on that, that corrects that word. All the way through here, there's words like that. Missing words. Down here there's Exhibit B part, go past it. This is with state. This is where your county goes. Your first, middle, and last name here. Lowercase, up here is uppercase. Well, up in lowercase on this side. Down here there's your state again, and your other information you put in. Now, you'll know if it's incorrect because you're going to see it highlighted something blue. Now this is the correct version. It's the one I did, which I done mine back in what, 2023. As long as I don't see any highlighted blue areas, then I know all these words on here is correct. I'll take it all the way down to the bottom. There's one. Now you have to read this where it says, this means there is, in all caps, no money. It further means that since there is no money, American signatures are used as the credit to run this country. Signatures. Don't say autograph, it says signatures. You got to read this. That in turn means that the American people, whom are the creditors, not the debtors. And the bank utility companies would like everyone to believe, right there, whom, the people who are the creditors, not whom. The utility companies have been operating with this knowledge with intent, forethought, and the malice to commit crimes mentioned herein, but not limited to. Okay, doesn't see highlighted in here blue? You go ahead on down. This is where your name goes up in lowercase. That's all goes on this one page. If you reduce that page, you got 26 pages instead of 27. Here it says non-taxpayer affidavit due for power attorney, general in fact, or revocation of all previous power attorneys. That highlighted in red, that stays that way. Everything else stays the same as it is. Now this is the one I got from Midwest. It had a logo here, a logo there, and one was here. Well, here. I removed it. That doesn't represent me. Now, here's the other problem. It's probably in all the status correction, but see, when you get them, you already have flaws in it already that you're going to need to correct. Well, this is a 16-digit collection collateral card virtual card number. This number right here. That's not your identification number on your birth certificate. Everything else is fine. D, this should have been DOB, not D. D stands for death. That should have been DOB, your birth month, your birth date, and your year. This should have been your birth certificate registration number here, not this collection card. This is a virtual card number, a 16-digit collection card number. Basically just say it's a 16-digit credit card number. So when you turn your status, your birth certificate is authenticated on the state and federal level into the Treasury, whoever owns this number, that's who gets your funds. Think about how pissed you be then. Okay, now we go ahead on down to where it says private citizen. That should have been entity or individual. That goes out of there. Put entity in there, not individual. Non-taxpayer defined as statute. That is your state you're born, the year you're born, the last 4 digits of your social security number. I mean the year of birth. The expiration date, 12/31/99. Should have put lifetime or the exempt in here. Or exempt. Nationality shouldn't have been Native American. It should have been American Indian. A dog can be a Native American. Anybody, anything can be a Native American. This should have been American Indian. That's all you need to put there. Down here's your first and middle name. And it shows you where you don't want to equitable sex QB trust account. And to go ahead on down with the not telling people you're not religious and all that so they'll know. And then where it says this is what you are not this. Okay, specifically says not a U.S. citizen. You even got citizen up in lowercase. Scroll on down. First, middle, and last name, your country. Up in lowercase. Scroll another page down to what? 3 of 17. This is 4 of 17. Right here where it says first, middle, and last. That's your name. That should stay green. If you copy this and paste it and it's all black like everything else, anybody that reads this and know what they're reading, they're going to know what that means. You did because that's black. That remains green. It's supposed to stay that way. Follow it on down. Where it says in men, it's got he. You can't put she there if it's for a guy. And you can't put she here if it's made for a male. You have to read this. There's a lot of other places where you're going to see that. As is your name in uppercase. Everywhere you see I, colon your name, first, middle, and last. That's your month, birth, day, and the year. This is where you're born at, the hospital. That's the city. That's the county. Your state, first, middle, and last, mother's name, father's name, first, middle, and last name. Line 7. This is their date of creation. January 9th, 1900. Starfield, Republic, your state. The Republic, not a democratic. It doesn't say democracy, it says republic. You think about people going around voting what is that? Democrat, and you live in a republic. It doesn't make any sense. That's because people don't read. Right here again, this is the serial number of the certificate of live birth, or your birth certificate. That's the state number there. That is the year. That's the last 6 digits of your birth certificate registration number. That's all should go in there. Those numbers and those numbers only. That is for your social security number. 000, 00, quad 0. Down here again, instruments carries your state. State of Alabama, state of Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, Texas, wherever you live. Come on down, 517. Now we go down to where your name goes again, all the capital letters this time. That's your birth certificate registration number again, because there's 6 digits here. It's not 4 like your social security number. This is on your birth certificate. Some birth certificates have 4, some have maybe more than that. Even out here is doing business as. First, middle, and last name uppercase. Derivations of said business name. Grantee, private, public, signature. Should have been autographed, but it says signature, so we'll leave it signature. And this, where it says I, they need to know who I is. This is where your name goes. And the way it's worded, that should be in upper and lowercase. So that would be first, middle, last name. That's what goes there. You're calling it off if you want to. Because this is a status correction, it's what you're supposed to be doing, correcting it. Then, that uppercase I, lowercase automatically turns itself to uppercase. Alright? Now, down here is your address, your complete mailing address to where you collect your mail. As Alabama, that's your zip code. Whatever your zip code is, that's where that is. And it says, notice I claim all titles. Indeed, I should be your name. First, middle, and last name goes here. They need to know, like I said before, who I is. That's what goes there. Anywhere you see I, that's where your name goes. Whether it's uppercase or lowercase. Like right here. And if it goes right here, the same thing goes here. And that should be changed to an uppercase I, not a lowercase. Now your birth certificate registration number again. That's all that goes there. Address, whatever hospital, wherever he was born. That where he was born at, that goes in this box. I further declare and affirm and declare, attest and affirm and declare. That's where your name goes again. First, middle, and last name here. That I have signed. Your name go again. First, middle, and last. Same thing here. Even this. See, when people don't pay attention to this, you can't say your status correction is correct because you hadn't corrected it. Always check these words. Herein, hereunto, herein. Thereunto, hereunto. Now, going on down, well, you see what effect this says to the power of the passive expose fact. De facto law or de facto. It might have should have been de facto, but since it's that way, I'm going to leave it that way. It would have been fact of law, but it's de facto law. That's your name, uppercase. You state here again. Now, most people don't pay this any attention, but is not capable of such contract. The above mentioned 1819. In New York, it's 1777. In different states, they had a different number, so you can't use that number for everyone because that's incorrect. State of Texas is different. State of Alabama is different. State of Florida is different. State of Mississippi is different. All states have that different number. Okay? You always have to remember that. So until you do that, your status correction is not correct because why you hadn't corrected. When you read this line here, all persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of the state, the people therefore shall then be in rebellion against the United States and shall be then thenceforth and forever free. That shouldn't be slaves. That should be wards of state, because that's what you are. Until you get yourself situated, you're ward of state. WARDS of states. Not slaves. You have to correct that. Going on down to 917. You got your name in all uppercase where it's supposed to be, upper and lowercase. All these derivatives. That's where it go I again. See where it says I, first, middle, last name? You have to know where to put that and what not to put it. When it's talking about you, that's where you put that when you declaring something. When it's talking about you, it's like this. This here, foundation should not be there. A status correction is not a foundation. When you own a foundation, that's just something to go to a trusted document. So this shouldn't be your first, middle, and last foundation. You don't own a foundation, so this shouldn't even be here. That should be removed. You don't put a foundation on a do not stop, do not detain list. You can't detain or stop a foundation. Seriously. That's where it goes again. Writes I, first, middle, and last name goes right here. Again, first, middle, and last name. I recognize who? Who recognizing this? You're recognizing it. First, middle, and last name goes there. And right here where it says your majority in the name, then that goes all capital. You don't put I there. Everywhere you see I, that's where your name goes. Either uppercase or lowercase. Now, same thing here. This, foregoing, that has to be corrected. Foregoing. That the foregoing is accurate and attested to help me. Okay? And then so help me God, whatever that is, you can either delete that out or leave that if you want it. It's accurate and tested. So you can type it into the best of my knowledge. That don't need to be in there. Considering who the God of this world is, you ain't acknowledging him. Which I hope you're not. Okay, come on down this and all this highlighted. Leave that like it is. I wouldn't worry too much about that top line, but this one right here. That's no big deal. But you have to go through this and check and read every single line. Because the status correction itself, it's got a little missing part, a little missing words in it, a little missing letters, a little missing phrases. Now I'll show you on another one what I mean. I, first, middle, last name. I, first, middle, last name, recognize. Even down here, where it says revision, revisionary. Okay? This shouldn't be here. Your status correction or your trust is not a citizen, and it's not a state, and it's not an agency. None of this should be there. All that should be deleted. Nothing should be there but U.S. And again, that's that wrong collateral number. That's somebody's 16-digit credit card number. That's wrong. That should be DOB. Your month, your date, and your birth year. This should be your birth certificate registration number. That's all should go here. Same on this line. See where it says I, your first, middle, and last name? That goes on this one. Government. I am aware that the government obligation refers to the public debt or of the United States government, etc. I who? I am, or I, so and so and so and so, first, middle, last name, aware it is. Here where your name goes, first, middle, and last, all uppercase. That's what goes there. Stating that you are not bankrupt. Same thing on this bottom line. Well, you autograph it. Don't sign it, no signatures, it's an autograph only. First, middle, last name. Power attorney and beneficiary. CFA on file. Same on this side. That's all should be there. It's state. Not citizen / nothing. That shouldn't be there. This is what your collateral number should look like. 3 digits for the state you're born in, 2 digits for the month of your birth, and the last 6 digits on your birth certificate registration number. That's what goes there. It should be DOB, birth date, month, and the year. So, now, let me show you an incorrect one. This is one is here for the females. Every line it is got out in blue, you know it's incorrect. I'll show you what I mean. Now this here gonna trip you out. Redress sets the QB Act 1666. You look this up, you'll see that word spelled correctly. Same thing with this one. The proof of deceased persons. That's deceased. And then what I say beyond abstaining themselves up to whom lives, it states, don't depend. DOE, really? Does depend. Okay, come on down. The state you was born in, and here's of the name that appear on the birth certificate. The name that appears. See how it's got a comma in there? That's how that goes. The name was intended to be in proper form. The name in its proper form is in its proper form. Okay? Go down another 101. This is where your name goes. First, middle, and last up in lowercase. Executed this day, month, that's a year. Further it goes down and you get the rest of these mistakes. Little simple mistakes, but you have to read it to see them. This is done, by the way, on 8.5 by 14 paper. Not 8.5 by 11. You do that, you're going to run it all over on the second page. See what this says? By utility companies' use of banknotes. That's how it should be. Additionally, all alleged invoices sent to every recipient is a dividend or what? And or coupon. Now, mind you again, your status correction isn't correct until you do this. You do this, then it's correct. Not before. Only after. Read this line here that in turns means that it is the American people whom are the creditors. American people who are creditors. Okay? That's where your name goes. Right here. Up in lowercase, first, middle, and last. Now again, this underlined in red, misspelled word, derivatives. That's derivatives. Natural woman should have been natural entity. This is indigenous American Indian. You just put American Indian there. You don't have to put all this in here. They already know you're indigenous. Excuse me. That goes American Indian. That's your name up in lowercase, first, middle, and last. As your 14th Amendment, Section 1, United States of America Constitution. First, middle, and last right here in this column. Open that up. Put your name in that first, middle, and last. Date of birth, weight, height, and all this. That's your date of birth, month, and a year. Okay, read this. As a friend to United States, I am. To the United States. And that's where your name go first, middle, and last, and go up in lowercase. Now right here, not a U.S. citizen on the federal pursuant to 8 U.S.C. 1101, A21, however, born in state. In the state. Now that's the simple miscorrection in the status correction itself. Here it is again. Your name should have been right here. Not I have a religious obligation. I have a divine obligation. It specifically says right below the durable power of attorney about you not being a member of the craft and all that. You tell me you're not religious, so you don't want to turn around and put back up here you are religious. That doesn't make any sense. I am a transient foreigner, but not an inhabitant, with respect to a man, woman, maid, government having jurisdiction in a place where I temporarily live. Temporarily. See how you got temporarily spelled? You look temporally, like a temporal. Run it on down. Look for everything highlighted in blue. Income tax, trade, or business. Something that simple to make them look at it again. That's where your name goes, up in lowercase, first, middle, and last. Down here up in lowercase, that's the county you was born in. Respect to any of the principles, it says any of principles. That's how you correct that. This is correcting your status correction using AI. You upload it in Google Documents, send it through your email, and you open it in your email. You see a little blue tab where it says Open in Google Documents. Here we go again. Whom principle does establish a pattern to provide gifts. Whom the principle does establish. And again, I told you before, this is where your name is supposed to stay green, right here. First, middle, and last. Alright, let me log this out of here. Natural entity, this says natural woman, it should have been that's natural entity here. Your name here goes first, middle, and last up in lowercase. natural woman who placed on the record should be a natural woman who's placed on the record. First middle last again. The born, where it says the born, that should have been she or the child. So since that is the, we're going to put the child was born. You got to know the what. And once you got all this done, then you know your status correction is not only powerful, it's correct. Okay, you know that. Now, according to the law and evidence of the United States, what is this? States self-authenticating documents, that which can be admitted into evidence. States authenticating documents, those which can be. Okay? Documents those which. Documents which do not require outside evidence. A lot of people miss that. Now I got this one from I did this from the Midwest team, but maybe they didn't see this. So my point being, you don't just go to piling stuff into a status correction without reading it first, because like I say, it already got its mishaps or its mistakes in it already. So you don't just go to putting stuff in there without reading it. You have to pay attention to what you're doing. You have to read it first. Like this, because this simple word here, it may look correct if you don't look at it carefully, but then look at it again. The same way with this one. You just affirm the contract. Simple as that. See, the people that's going to look at this, everybody may not read it, but the ones that do will. And here again, your name should have went right behind his eye, up in lowercase, first, middle, and last. Anywhere you see I, that's where your name goes. And name, above business and name. What about the name? Business and the name. You have done this, first, middle, and last. You hereby do this, first, middle, and last again. Thereunto, hereunto, herein. Immediately. Not past tense. You hereby, hereby. Now, start at that the said legislation assembly should not have the power to pass any ex post facto law, nor impermanent obligation of contracts, nor the tax property of the United, what is that, States? That should be of the United States. That's spelled S-A-T-E-S when it should be this. Okay? You go further down and read another highlighted area in blue. As the above mentioned. Mentioned? What are you still talking about? That should be past tense. Above mentioned. 1777, New York City. Okay? And once you go through all of these, every single line, and you correct it and you read it, then it's powerful. Other than that, it's not. You can say it's powerful all you want to, but you need to know it's powerful. This is how you know. All these colons is where your name goes, up in lowercase. Where it's lowercase, that's where your name goes. Where it's uppercase, your name go in uppercase. And this is says she, her, she. You don't fool around and put him there, speaking of a female. Pay attention to what you're doing. Her, she, her or her estate. First, middle, and last. Every all these colons, that's where your name goes. I, who, reserve what? Your name go there. Same thing here. I, first, middle, and last name determined. I, first middle name, do. I, who recognizes what? You go back and put your name there, first, middle, and last. Lowercase, up in lowercase. And again, remember, for my unalienable rights protected by the original 1777. So you can't put 1877 in Alabama, 1861 in another state. My attorney where fact where represents. See where it says work? That should be where. Then you declare, spell the word declare correctly. Alright? So we go on down to another line. This can be further proven by excerpts. What about by experts? Or by the experts of the congressional record. In 1934, a court cannot announce that bank, that what bank? That should have been that the bank. This should have been that the bank emergency was still ongoing. Okay? Here it is again. Do you see the Supreme Court of the United States? That case. What case? That the case. This making it powerful when you make it correct. It's not going to be powerful until you do that. With the word government. Does the government do anything right? How does this sound? And imagine that we were all still in a national emergency after all these years. Government do anything right? Does the government do anything right? So I say, does the government do anything right? Even out in this part. That will depend entirely on the amount of collateral. You going to mount it, or are you talking about an amount of collateral? Simple corrections. Here it is again in 1934, the Supreme Court announced that that bank emergency was still ongoing. That the bank emergency was still ongoing. The Supreme Court of the United States stated that case. What case? The case in 1933 or the case in 1933? And again, down here on this line, extent 2, in all the years, government does do anything right? Does the government do anything right? No, they don't, if they only see in their own eyes. Here again, your name, first, middle, last. Follow it on down till you see another highlighted blue area. I do, first, middle, and last, not accept, nor do I, first, middle, and last, recognize. Okay, follow on down. I am, first, middle, and last, all aware of this. And until you see I, that's where you put your first, middle, and last name behind it, because then you know who you're talking about. I, first, middle, and last name, am not bankrupt. That's where your name goes. Down here, it should all be on this line. First, middle, and last name, power of attorney, and beneficiary CF on file on behalf of first, middle, and last name's estate, which is your estate. And again, on this line, it says your first, middle, and last name, estate, I fully, first, middle, and last name, assign, whatever, blah, blah, blah. This is how you correct your entire status correction. Probably do this in less than what? In less than 30 minutes. So, now when you look back over it, run over it again. Make sure you check all your misspellings. valid by the perception of the law of necessity. See? Simple word corrections. Even this is a mistake in the status correction itself. That should be last, not lasting. And this is what it will look like after you're done with it. So, again, I tried to make this video as short as I could. I don't want to make it too lengthy, but I try to get it under 45 minutes. So until you do this, then you'll know if your status correction is correct or not, but until you do this, it's not. So a lot of people are going to have to go back and read it. You're going to rethink what you did, get a template of it. Before I close this out, I'll show you how to save this and make a template out of it. Now, say for instance, you want to take this, you can either save it as open office document file, or you can save it as a PDF, or you can save it as a template. All you have to do is go over here. It says File, make a copy, download a Microsoft Word as your Word document. You want to download it as a PDF? This is a PDF. That's what it's going to look like on your computer. I'm going to open up both of them. Okay? And last but not least, download it as a template. So when people want to say, I stole a template and did status correction, I did not. I made my own template, and I'm going to show you how I do it. This is what you call a template, which I just done it briefly, which means I do this. Now when I get ready to open it up, there's my template. And if I finish with this, I can export it as a PDF. This is all 27 pages. You want to make sure you got it checked, go over here, make sure it's legal size, which is 8.5 by 14. Not 8.5 by 11. This is the beginning and ending process correcting your status correction. Don't matter, this one here is from Midwest, but you can correct it the same way. Open it up in Google Documents. And this is where this is done at. Email it to yourself. When you get your email, you open it up, and where it says open with Google Docs, when you do that, it automatically goes here. And that's how you edit it and correct it. Thanks for watching. Go running. Have a good one, guys.